Still digging. He got that thing completely sideways.
Jimmie Johnson sideways there, too. Kurt got a nice run off the corner.
Okay, we're coming.
See if he can get to the bumper.
Can he get there? Here he comes. Kurt Busch, a car length away. Jimmie Johnson trying to hang on.
Awesome job, dude.
And Jimmie Johnson wins for the 7th time this year. Whoa, contact.
Hard lick for these cars. That's a bad way to end the race. A lot of cars getting torn up here.
6, 7, 8 cars involved.
Stewart's involved.
Robbie Gordon there, Bill Elliott involved, Kenny Schrader involved. The two initially involved were the 42 and 10. They were sort of shoved aside, but Jimmie Johnson pumping that fist and waving and saying, guys, we got one to go.
Down the back straightaway.
Newman and Martin lean on each other in turn 2.
I think Newman got the better of him that time.
I believe he will prevail.
Jimmie Johnson wins at Martinsville on the 25th anniversary of Hendrick Motorsports' first win. 41st Cup win as Dale Jr. bounces off the wall on the way to the flag.
Fishtailing to the house. Let's see what Johnson in the 11 car, if they have any words. No, it looks like pretty congenial.
5 wins.
Great work, Jimmy. Great work, man. Thanks.
5 wins in the last 6 Martinsville races for Jimmie Johnson.
That's 10 in the last 13 for Hendrick Motorsports here.
And 18 Martinsville wins for Rick Hendrick.
Can you imagine if he had all those clocks go off at once?
You're the man.
He didn't lead the race until 70 laps to go.
Number 4, this should carry him past Stewart and into the lead with 2 to go.
I think that bump down the front here on Tony Stewart, it was kind of a little wake-up call. Hey, man, I got 4 tires, you got 2. I'm coming.
What racing, though?
Johnson is my hero today, Larry. That was a whale of a drive, taking those 4 tires, that gamble, and driving it to the front.
But you know who's breathing the easiest right now? Chad Canals in that 48 pit crew.
Yeah, well, he's doing one of those I told you so's now.
Jimmie Johnson and the Cobalt Tools Lowe's Chevrolet come off turn 4 and score their 4th win at Dover, their 2nd win of 2009.
Stewart 2nd, Biffle 3rd, Kenseth 4th, Kurt Busch 5th.
Jimmie led 298 laps, the most laps that he has led in 269 starts.
Right away, look at him moving from inside to outside. White flag.
Jimmie's doing everything he can to keep him back there, not letting him get too close to the bumper. He doesn't want to get the opportunity to get him loose. Here's Mark Spot coming up. Got one more run at him.
This time down the back straightaway, Jimmie Johnson stays in the middle of the racetrack and will pull him by a couple of car lengths. 2 turns away from the checkered flag. Turn 3.
Well, Martin just needs a couple of car lengths trying to loosen him up. Man, he drove it hard in there and out of that corner. That's why Jimmie Johnson's a champion right there, folks.
Out of turn 4, headed for the checkered flag, and 3-time NASCAR Sprint Cup champion Jimmie Johnson becomes a 3-time winner at the Brickyard 400.
First time anybody's ever won it back to back.
Stewart gets Biffle there at the end.
Awesome, dude. You are absolutely incredible. Just incredible. Never had it.
Great effort.
I am very proud of you, buddy. Incredible, incredible.
Case for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. White flag next time by for Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson is a 4-time winner at Dover International Speedway. And he is a lap away from collecting his 5th win on the Monster Mile.
One more time around.
He came here as a rookie driver in 2002. Not only did he win both races that year, he led the most laps in both races, serving notice that this young man was going to be a factor in NASCAR Sprint Cup racing. And here today, he has led 3 times for 271 laps, and Jimmie Johnson wins it at Dover.
That's right, boys. Maximum points. Thank you. Oh, nice work, Johnson. Nice work.
So Johnson takes the win. Martin in second. Kenseth finishing third. Montoya fourth. Kurt Busch fifth. And you saw that it was Jeff Gordon sixth. Allmendinger did finish in front of Casey Kane, who finished eighth. Tony Stewart ninth. And Ryan Newman in the top 10. By the way, Carl Edwards finished 11th.
Final lap here in California. Side-by-side action. Gordon and Montoya, second position. Mark Martin is driven now out from underneath the 14 car. Here he comes, trying to be a factor here, maybe to finish third or second.
And then say he'll go to the high side here and see if he can get by Montoya.
Montoya's going to try to block, but he...
See Gordon all the way on the apron.
Jimmie Johnson coming down out of turn 4. What a job they have done again, and for the second year, make it third year in a row in the fall. Jimmie Johnson wins at California, and Gordon finishes second.
Nice job, guys. Hell yeah. How about that, Johnson? The job.
The sponsor's name, one and the same for Jimmie Johnson, a 5-time winner thus far in 2009. We mentioned no driver has ever won 3 of the first 5 chase races. But the guy who is chasing history in NASCAR has done it tonight at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Jimmie Johnson gets the win.
And Gordon wins this battle for 4th.
Martin in trying to get a position. Biffle will take that spot. Can he hold off Harvick? Yeah, he will hold off Kevin Harvick, and Martin will finish back in 17th. Biffle is 16th.
Awesome job, dude. We just completed the biggest goal of my life, just so you know.
And bounce back from disappointment in Texas. And Johnson, what a performance. The 3-time and defending NASCAR Sprint Cup champion gets it done and wins the 3rd year in a row here at Phoenix.
Mark's in trouble. Mark's got problems. White flag. That's all he needed to see, Larry. He's on the pole for the 500. Get out of town.
I think you're right. I think he felt like it might get a little crazy here on this last lap, and Mark's usually pretty right.
This is going to be a crowded house. Here comes Harvick. Right up the back bumper of Jimmie Johnson.
And there goes Kyle Busch in the 18 car. Jump to the high side. He gets blocked. He goes back to the bottom.
Jimmie Johnson doing what a whale of a job he's doing on those tires. Stayed out.
I think Boyer pushed Harvick right by him on the outside through 3 and 4.
Teammates. 2 Chevys helping each other.
Hey, have you ever seen this movie before?
Here comes Harvick.
Don't count Jimmie Johnson
Jimmie
out.
Johnson's fighting back.
It's going to be a drag.
Not over yet.
Drag in the air. Jimmie Johnson. Johnson got it.
I mean,
by inch.
6/1000ths of a second.
That's what I said, an inch.
With no fresh tires on that race car.
Good call, Chad Canals.
Unofficially for the transfer spot.
Way to go. I didn't know it was over. I was still going.
How close do you want it?
Harvick tried to get that side draft off of him.
And he actually set Jimmie Johnson around. You can see the back of the car swing around just a tad, but he made it.
Wow. What great camera work. What a finish. Right there.
There's the difference.
Instead of Harvick by inches, it's Johnson by inches. Now, further back at 14th, Michael McDowell. Cars will fight it out for second.
It's going to be close between them.
As Jimmie Johnson is half a lap away from his 48th career win.
What did everybody say? He just wins here in the fall?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He's won the last 3 fall races.
The Roush cars have dominated the spring here, but defending champ Matt Kenseth is only 7.
We're going to have a heck of a finish here for second.
Boy, it's going to be a drag race between those 2 guys.
I believe Burt might get him down on that bottom. No, Harvick got it.
Jimmie Johnson wins the Auto Club 500. There is Joey Logano holding off Kurt Busch.
Very nice run. Gentlemen, you did a great job.
Johnson, and we'll have 2 to go.
I would be just the opposite. I would be being really good buddies with him right now, trying to find out, what are you doing, man?
Don't forget, though, Jeff Gordon is part owner of this 48, along with Rick Hendrick.
He's the one that told Rick Hendrick, that's the guy you need to get to drive that 48 car. And it's worked out quite well because he's looking for win number 49, white flag.
One more lap. She's over.
Johnson trying to win back-to-back races for the 7th time in his career. Logano back after Kenseth out of turn 2. That one's going to go all the way to the flag. Johnson out of 4. And here he comes.
Very nice job, boys.
NASCAR's all-time winner on 1.5 tracks is Jimmie Johnson. The battle back for 5th place.
Ooh, that's hard to call. That's hard to call.
Logano or Kenseth?
I believe Kenseth got him.
I think he got down on the apron and made the shorter route and clipped him.
Absolutely. Guys, great job in the pits. Jimmie, great work out there, buddy. No luck involved in that one, my friend.
Out of time with fresh tires.
Champagne.
Well, they said when the race started, get the champagne out.
And that's Earl Barbin, the same guy that wanted to stand by the lady with the blue feathers at Las Vegas.
Here he comes off of turn 4.
Checker flag. Jimmie Johnson scores his 50th career Sprint Cup win.
Great job, driver. Great job, buddy. Awesome work, everybody. Yes, yes, yes!
Tony Stewart worked on that car all day and brought it home in 2nd place. Kurt Busch led the most laps by far, 278, more than half the race. Winds up 3rd. And the Roush cars, Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards, or Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards, finished 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, those guys that changed 2 tires, it worked out great for them. 2nd, 5th, 6th, and 7th.